Let's move on to Destiny 3. Another one of our topics that we started discussing last week was Destiny 3 and sort of these rumors that were going around. So we're going to continue that conversation and talk about some of the things we would like to see happen with the sequel, or a proposed conundrum that you're thinking about in your brain.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Destiny 3 and where we want it to go.
Well, I think what's weird is that, again, these were rumors, and who knows if they're in production or how they're going to change, or whether or not what was being said last week will actually carry through to Destiny 3. The biggest conversation that I saw online was that, you know, would you come back to Destiny 3 if it was just, hey, here's another Destiny game, your vault blew up a third time or a second time, now you have to get it all over again. Would you guys like that? Or the question that I'm wondering for you guys, would you maybe like it to take the prequel territory and maybe we go into a different time space or before what we're doing now?
I think they're going to do a book type system where we get to keep weapons from D1 and D2 if we played for that long.
Ooh.
Like, I think they're going to do something like that because they're going to learn from their mistakes, hopefully, right?
But where you think that they'll track what you obtained in the two games and then make a third game that incorporates all those into your character, that progression carries forward?
In some way. If it doesn't, then there's enough weapon overlap with Destiny 1 and Destiny 2 that at least those products would. And I think that would be a smart way to do it. Like, okay, you don't have your vault stuff, but if you really want your weapons from D2, you can buy them from a collections type book. And it would be great if it launched with that. Launched, Bungie. Launched with that.
Whoa.
Not like a year later where you add vault space and everything.
I mean,
like, launch with the stuff that we've come to expect and enjoy with Destiny 2. Don't make a new game from scratch.
I mean, I think that's a huge question, is that I think people were surprised that they knew that the vault exploding was coming. So we had that moment. You and I think
we did it for a while. I remember when Deej revealed it and we were like, oh.
You're right. But when we started, like, you know, getting involved in doing the streams and all the rest of that stuff, we were like, oh, the vault is exploding. Yeah. It's all going away. Like, there was time for you to actually process, oh, I'm not going to start up Destiny 2 and expect it to be all the stuff that I had from Destiny 1 carrying over. There was a long conversation, I think, initially, internally, I bet, whether or not to do, and we kind of asked them about that. Do you carry through Destiny 1 into Destiny 2, or do you create a new game with a new number on the box? And we've compared that to WoW and a bunch of things over the years. How do you actually do that now when it feels like people want the progress to carry through?
I mean, I don't think it's a matter of, I think you can do both. I think you can build a game that expands the systems and the mechanics that are in the game now in a unique and interesting way, take that same opportunity to change stuff that maybe wasn't working and build out what is a true full-blooded, full-featured sequel, but still have either weapons or narrative or character choices, although those don't really play a factor in Destiny, part of the experience, right? Like, I'm of two minds on the whole inventory thing. Like, I'm not really the type of player who was so sad that I couldn't bring my D1 weapons over to D2. I'm just not who I am.
So, interruption for real quick. Some of them are weapons, though, and others are actual purchases. And I think there's a combination of concern with you spent money and these things go away. If it was only weapons and armor and you didn't pay any money for it, I think people would be fine. But when you invest money in
lose your shaders and
and you lose everything that you've paid for, then that creates a different conversation.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know that that's I think that's more on the purchaser / the audience person, right? Like, I don't think Bungie is beholden to, like, if you bought a bunch of stuff in Destiny 2 and they release Destiny 3, whatever it is, I don't actually think that Bungie's obligated to make sure those purchases carry over, right?
Yeah.
Like, to take a totally separate perspective on this, like, how many times have you bought Super Mario? On different platforms.
Dozen times.
Literally, like 20.
I have it on everything.
Yeah, I have it on
literally
every platform,
everything.
right?
Yeah.
And everyone's always saying, like, I bought it once on a digital platform. Why can't that digital copy expand to all of the Nintendo things I ever buy?
like it does on
smart,
Xbox.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? That would be smart.
Yeah.
But the truth is, like, Nintendo isn't obligated to do that for people because they know that they'll continue to buy it on whatever platform, right? And that makes them money.
That's a good analogy, dude.
So all I'm saying is, like, I think that as a consumer, if you're going to buy stuff in Destiny, you may have to be okay with the idea that it won't carry over to the game, even if it's something you bought.
Yeah.
Although, like I said, if I bought something and it was available in the sequel, that would be really nice. That'd be a cool feature.
Yeah.
But I think you got to be wary that it may not be something that the devs necessarily think is important.
Yeah.
I think, sorry to finish up, I would think it would be cool if we could still have access some way to the stuff that we've come to really, really love, like the exotics and stuff that we worked really hard for carried over. Like some of that stuff, having that accessible, like after you've completed the main campaign or something by like a kiosk or whatever, that could still be cool. And I think you could do that without compromising the idea of building out a brand new game.
I gotta say, I'll let you go with yours in just a second, Steven. But I think overall, Destiny is not the magical experience that it was when it launched. There's no more mystery anymore.
Destiny 1 or 2?
Destiny 1.
Destiny 1.
Yeah, so before Destiny 1 launched, everyone was curious. They had these ideas about what it would be, a space adventure or such. Yeah. And I think there's definitely brain fatigue from that perspective. We have Anthem coming out this year that's also going to be in the same similar sci-fi type space. We have Destiny, similar. We get the idea. You shoot a lot of stuff repeatedly, and that loop is what we get. Scorched Earth.
Yeah,
I think we need something drastically new while retaining the gameplay aspects. And it's not an easy it's easy for me to sit here and say, here's what we need, but it's going to be really difficult for them as designers to harness that imagination of their community again. And I don't know if they can do that with D3.
That's a good point. Like, that is what I'm seeing in some of the comments. That's the reason why I said, like, what do you think it should be an evolution that is either a prequel or completely departs? Like, some of the people, I think, if you look from D1 to D2, were like, it's the same monsters. We have the same 3 classes. We have the same Vex and Hive and this and that. And that's not a bad thing. Those things are all really well fleshed out. So there's the lore side of things where people go, I'm glad that those things are, you know, there's a lore and you need to respect that and keep that into consideration. But then there's other people, and I think what you're saying is, it all feels the same. How do you create those feelings that we had in Destiny 1 again? And I agree. I think it is very challenging.
We've been doing this show for 4 years, and I've been shooting Fallen and Vex and Hive for 4 years.
Yeah.